Hello everybody, Alvin Lee here. This video is a whole series from WAB Lab Road to Success. Our purpose here is to show what COVID has affected all our lives for the last 2 years. Today is 1st December 2021. COVID has caused a lot of dire consequences for a lot of businesses, MNCs, government, families, and the rest. The purpose of this series of video interview is to highlight the plight, the pain, the suffering of SME owners. Why does the SME owners, you may ask? Because we feel that the SME owners are the most not neglected one, that requires a lot more attention, because they are the locals, and they are, even though very small, from the smallest SME to the micro 1%, 5% companies, they are the worst hit under the COVID. Okay, so today we now have Omicron and many other things to come. So the next 2 years or so, even though we have the travel lane vaccinated and other things that goes on, we are still now facing an uncertain future. So for today's series, we have Mr. Roger Koh from the legendary fried rice, ultimate fried rice brand name, to come and join us. So this whole series, the last few ones that came along, we have Yvette Chiang, Dr. Yvette Chiang from Spa Institute. We also have Mr. Anthony Tan from the My Learning Lab, WAB Lab itself, and myself was from the Castles Can Fly. So all of us share our pain and sorrows that went through, and we are going to ask for today's purpose Mr. Roger Koh to share with us. Okay, just before I ask Roger to join us, how many of you remember back in the early 80s, just outside the Chinatown, where the Rich Man Chinese Association are, where there's a very famous ultimate fried rice. Sometime in the early 1990s, when the Singapore started introducing GST in the parliament itself, and many Singaporeans were very afraid that the food business owners will make use of it, take advantage of the people by increasing their prices unreasonably and by, in the end, profiting from it. Then Minister Yeo Cheow Tong went in front of Parliament and explained to the whole Singapore people to be assured that even with this GST tax, the free market choices allowing people to buy. So you can buy at a point in time a very wonderful $3 fried rice. At the same time, across the road, Bukit Baso, outside Chinatown, just on the fringe of Chinatown, there's a pair of ladies that sell $25 ultimate fried rice. So he's trying to say that everybody can have a choice. Don't be afraid of the GST. Guess what happened? The legend went up. All the rich people who used to order the $25 fried rice all came down. The rest of the world can come from there. Now you are looking at the man here who is the owner of that legendary brand. Can we give a hand to Mr. Roger Koh? Hey, Roger. Hello, everybody. Okay, just say a few words. Okay, now maybe before we start, just share with the audience what you were doing before the COVID came in.
Well, COVID came in 2019. I actually ended all my business on 2017, so 2 years prior to COVID. Now, if I were to continue to renew my leases during 2016, because we were heavily dependent on tourist market. So 2019, when COVID came, it would be terrible for me. Yeah. So it was a blessing in disguise in a certain way. So 2017, I stopped everything, and I went on to a journey of soul searching to basically understand and re-engineer my business structure. So I went to the Philippines, I went to Indonesia for quite a long period. The purpose is to think about how I could move from there. the ultimate objective is how to put together a very lean operation, because COVID or not, the rental was going up all the time. The rental was a big issue. So being in the tourist market, we need to be located in good places, expensive places, and at the end of the day, we were all working for our landlords. So that was not the solution. So for 2 years, I went to Indonesia. I stayed there for quite a while. I went to Philippines, almost a year. I drove the entire Philippines to learn about opportunities. And it came to me that one of my main ingredients, which is crab, has abundant source of it in these countries, Philippines and Indonesia. So I started to link up with the fishermen, and ultimately I have my own warehouse to do quality control of the crab, and before the crab are being sent by direct flight to Singapore. So 2019 we restarted everything in a small shop house in the Bayou. Very low rental. We just want to try out everything, put all the pieces together meaningfully. We were very, very lean, like operating out of maybe 3 people, just 3 people. In the shop house, because it was under HDB regulation, we were not able to have open flames, so we can't cook there. And next door was a kopitiam. So we rented a kopitiam store to do the frying part. So it complemented the whole operation. Everything was very lean before COVID came. So that was before COVID.
Okay, so from the little I learned that most of the other places, this is very a world apart from what you were doing before. I remember reading something about you're having in Shanghai, in Beijing, in Clarke Quay, in Downtown East, and Suntec, and so many places. So it was really a very different, like what you say, soul searching 2 years or at least. Yeah. So it was totally different things that you were doing.
So it was a situation of in Chinese 骑虎难下. You're riding the tiger and you can't really get off the back of the tiger, because once you get off the back, the tiger will bite you, right? So 骑虎难下. For 20 years we grew the business. Well, I took over in 1995 after Yu Chao Dong made us famous. So I took over that in 1995, and we continued to build on that. We grew. We went to Shanghai, Beijing, all over the place, and there was a mistake that we actually expanded out of the fried rice focus. Now we did almost everything: halal food, canteen, cafe, everything. We went to places like Shanghai, Beijing, which has a different culture, and therefore the energy that I have to put in there to be successful becomes deprived from the local focus. So that wasn't correct, because for business to grow, I think beyond a certain size, we must have our own procurement, very strong procurement. In my philosophy, when you are small, you work on sales. If you want to grow big, you work on procurement. So I felt it was wrong for at least 15 years. And come 2016, 17, it was an opportunity for me to say, okay, enough is enough. For 20 years, I stopped here and rethink about what I should do if I were to come back again.
Okay, so this is some of the valuable lessons now I learned. When you're small, you focus on the sales just to grow from there. But if you are anywhere between medium and the larger one, I think a lot of focus must be on the source, which is the procurement and the things that's going to feed you in time to come. Riding the tiger, very difficult to come down. But I think you did something on hindsight that you knew that two things that was not going right. The rental keeps going up even as you go from there, and then your source is all controlled by other people, which is beyond your control. Now these two things, the rental and the procurement, is going to hit you big time as you keep going from there. Okay, so that's the one thing. Okay, so that was before the COVID hit. Now during the COVID, 2020, 2021, just give us some sense of what was on your mind.
COVID actually affected us in December 2019. Yeah. But the real impact came in April when there was the circuit breaker. So being a unit, a HDB shophouse unit, a standalone unit, we are not allowed to operate. So meaning zero revenue. But we have our next door kopitiam. We still run the business.
So that was a blessing in disguise. At first you just want open flame. Open flame you just get a store. So happened lucky lah.
Yeah. So the kopitiam was allowed to
Open.
operate.
Okay.
So we actually went on to online presence. In fact, I spent many years as a computer programming manager. So in terms of getting things online, it wasn't difficult for me to do it all by myself. So we went on to online exposure. We went on to Facebook advertising, Google advertising, and we found our customers from there. So there were lots of orders coming in on WhatsApp platform.
This is talking about crab, fresh crab from...
Both fresh crab and cooked dishes.
Fresh crab and cooked dishes, okay.
So both ends, we have orders coming in. The next challenge is the delivery. A quick solution is to go to people like GrabFood, Foodpanda, but I couldn't imagine how this problem can be solved. To me, it's like going to them. It's just changing the problem from not having customer to having to pay
food delivery.
A lot of commission for food delivery.
Okay.
People like GrabFood, Foodpanda, they impose a 30 to 35% takings from your sales. So that is very high. We don't pay even 30% for rental. So you save on what you save on rental, you basically pay
more.
Yeah, you pay more to this delivery platform. So I felt it's not a solution. So usually we encourage customers to self-collect, pick up, and those higher value ones that goes up to $200-300 and above, we can do the delivery ourselves.
So the food delivery platform, there must be a critical number. If it is too little, it doesn't make sense. Of course, the ticket item.
In fact, from day one, we never use GrabFood.
Okay. Or any food delivery.
Food delivery platform.
Okay.
Because I don't think it is realistic to impute the real cost of delivery onto the customer. It's not realistic.
Okay.
Imagine if there's an order from Sembawang and we are stationed in Jupayo, or right now it's Jalan Besar.
Okay.
Going to Sembawang from Jalan Besar and return to Jalan Besar is like 60 km.
Okay.
60 km. So your petrol, the time involved.
The whole works. Yeah, the whole works. The whole supply chain, yeah.
If you were to impose all these costs onto customer.
But if the customer wants it?
It's not a long-term thing.
not a minority, yeah.
I mean, if you just go by petrol cost, time cost.
Yeah, so on and so forth.
Hire somebody to send and then come back. Probably takes 2 hours, all in all. 2 hours.
Round trip.
Time cost. How much is that? $40?
Yeah, okay. Compared to, let's say, $100 to $200 ticket, yeah.
For delivery.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, maybe 1% out of the 100 orders.
Yeah, okay.
Is really
It doesn't make
that's
sense in the long
long-term
run, not sustainable.
not sustainable.
Okay.
So I don't like to do things that is not sustainable because your effort will be wasted.
Right.
So we encourage self-collection, and if not, we will send ourselves. We deliver it ourselves. Yeah. The challenge is when you have two customers who wanted to receive the order at the same time, and one is in Changi, the other one is in Jurong West. So when there's a situation like this, we'll discuss with the customer. We close the expectation gap. You know, one will be sent earlier, one will be sent slightly later.
Okay lah. Provided the customer are reasonable. Most people say, I don't care, you promise to deliver and you
we
go.
were lucky. I think we're blessed with very good customers.
Good. Okay. Okay, so that was the process that happened. So what was your lowest point at that point in time? The 2 years. The lowest where, yes, the way you explain it is quite reasonable and very functional. But now to focus on where things were uncertain, you did everything was correct, somehow things don't work, 2%, 5%, 2%, 5%, that kind of all those things during these 2 years. Describe that part.
I think I usually spend very little time on the negative side.
Okay.
When there's a new implementation to contain COVID, it definitely affects us, like 5 to 2 or no operation totally. The focus has always been what else can we do.
Okay.
If my HDB shophouse restaurant cannot open, I will do wet market because we still have the crab business there.
Okay.
The biggest challenge I felt was it was during the circuit breaker time.
Okay, the earlier stages, because it was a shock and nobody have any clue what to do, and putting on masks for the first time, and then the social distancing. So the early part of the 2 years.
There are many inconveniences, of course, with all this COVID restriction. We have wet market selling crab, and we were not able to renovate the store in a short time. I mean, the government department took very long to reply to us. The contractor took very long to put up the roller shutter.
Yes.
So things that can be done in 1 week, it was done in 3 months.
So during that period where everything slowed down, short of labourer, short of processing of the government, and then trying to figure out what the policy is and trying to half guess. And if you say sometime in November, then November come, delay. There's a lot of, I imagine, a lot of planning.
I should say the biggest challenge is really to adjust the expectation. What are you expecting out of the situation? Knowing that there's a restriction, there's a control on foreign workers, they can't come in. So we will just have to adjust our expectation. We only have the X number of staff, so how much business can we do? How do we utilize the limited resources that we have? Rather than keeping the original target of achieving that much, and then you feel very, very upset because you couldn't achieve it. So it's a continual process of adjusting your expectation.
Okay, so the lessons now that I'm hearing is, during this period, Roger and his group of people adjusting to the conditions that was changing all the time, and then knowing that there are many things. So adjusting the expectation, taking stock of what can and cannot be done. In a normal time, we sell 100 plates. Then in this time, may not be 100 plates, but 100, maybe 50 packets or so on and so forth. So everybody have to take stock, everybody have to move forward. And like what he said, he like to focus not what else can we do, and that's the question that goes about.
I recall a situation where the live crab delivery was not on time because Indonesia was locked down, Philippines there was a lockdown. So So there was no movement of people. So the crab that we are supposed to receive didn't come in. So the question is, to be realistic, what do you want to do? You want to keep your own branding, because our crab is probably the best in Singapore. Because we go through a series of QC, which others don't do. So, not getting our own crab, what do we do? There's another option is to get from a third party. But that will most likely affect our branding image. So, the choices is whether to tell the customer we have no crab, or to get from a third party who doesn't know where their crab comes from, and then you take the risk of losing a customer.
That was the biggest challenge.
That was
one of the
challenge.
yeah.
At the end of the day, when we are branding concerned, the choice is obvious. We tell our customer there's no crab.
So
but for someone else.
Good. So
same as Chen. Because of the size of our kitchen, the limitation of manpower, chef, etc., we can only produce an X number of ultimate fried rice. And when we were at Toa Payoh, because the setup is very small, so we gave ourselves a target of 20 plates maximum. So that was the focus. Just do 20. Beyond that, we said we can't do, because it's going to affect the quality.
I see.
So right now in Jalan Besar, we are slightly bigger. We have 1 or 2 more staff, bigger kitchen, more facilities, more equipments. We can do 50 a day.
Okay.
Maximum. About a month ago, a new customer came and was very impressed with our alternate fried rice. And apparently she runs a big MLM organization, so she wanted to order 300 portions. We rejected her. With or without COVID, it's the same thing. We can't handle that.
Okay, so for me, by the way, I ate at his place, and I must say good things about the thing, because there was something refreshing from there. But I think the lessons for us SME owners and for everybody else to go from there, the lesson I take away is that there's only so much you can do within practical confines of things. So be very realistic and focus on what is important to you. If it is important that you have to make money, you may want to apply other third-party sources, so on and so forth. But he was more concerned about the branding and the trust and the integrity that the customer placed on Chen Fuji to go from there. Okay, so before I forget, maybe I just moving on forwards. You've gone through all that. Now this is already 2 years on. How do you see moving forward 2022?
Honestly, I don't think the virus
Omicron.
Yeah, I don't think it's over yet. The issue is still with us. If you look into the history, every pandemic lasts for many years, 10 years, and leading to a war. Maybe it's not going to be different this time. So not to be overly optimistic, operation has to be very lean and focus on doing your core and do it well. Keep your customer, have them returning to you so that you don't have to spend more money on marketing.
Okay, good. The lessons now from Roger would be keep it lean, focus on your core, whatever your core is. Then go from there, keep as close as you can to your customer who have been serving you well, and you are going to keep serving them come. Because whether it's 1 year, 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, customers are customers who will be very loyal to you if you look after them during the hard times. So we are talking about hard times, customer, business. So before I forget, now maybe I just round up. You can see below here, 279 Jalan Besar, Chen Fuji restaurant, ultimate fried rice, and just go from there. Okay, for us down here, before I just round it up, WAB Lab, we are here encouraging SME owners to come forward. And if any in the audience there whom you know of your father, your uncle, your mother, or your aunties who you know that are very good people out there struggling to make a business and especially on the SME side. 不管你是小老板、中老板、大老板，不管什么企业都好，卖单日做什么改本会使，只爱特别做迄个小生意、大生意。Please come forward. Please invite them. Please let them know we are WAB Lab Road to Success. Not one road, not two roads, many roads, and we will get out of this COVID-19 at some point in time. Thank you very much, Roger.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, bye bye.